At ease. It's your boy Soul Immortal. Hey guys, one thing I didn't mention last time was that I entered a link last time for y'all brothers and sisters to join in, but I forgot to let y'all know that up front. So I'm letting y'all know, man, that at some point, man, if we all want to have a little back and forth, if y'all want to join the convo, feel free to hit that link, join in, and let's chop. Right. I also appreciate y'all taking time out of y'all day to take part of episode 2 of God Talk. It's still up in the air on if I'm going to do this just once a week, if I'm going to start doing this several times a week. But again, I appreciate you brothers and sisters for joining, right? At any point in time, y'all can't hear me, y'all just let me know, right? So over the weekend, I was reflecting on different portions of my life, right? I was reflecting on, just parts of my life where I was going through different transitions. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always going from a good to a bad transition. It was just me transitioning from sometimes from a lower to a higher, or just taking a different direction in life, right? And I thought about something that I heard Bob Proctor say a long time ago, right? And I consider Bob to be, hands down, one of the greats. But Bob said when it comes to energy, right? He said when it comes to energy can either be going forward or backwards, right? But it can never stand still. Now, in the grand scheme of things, Bob is right, right? In the grand scheme of things, he's on point. But when you really think about it, in order for something going one direction to change and go another direction, there has to be a point. There has to be a point where that thing is at a dead standstill, right? There has to be a point where that thing is sitting idle. You know what I'm saying? But I've always heard that an idle mind is the devil's workshop, right? But it wasn't until recently, it wasn't until me looking back on life that I realized that the idle mind is actually death's middle chamber. Let's talk about it.
First of all, the greatest thing on the planet is the knowledge of self, and basically the knowledge of the universe. For the mere fact that you are even interested in this or remotely interested in this at this particular time when shit is going on crazy out here, it means that you are the special evolved beings. Stop thinking like a human. You got to start thinking as a God. G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. Is it not written in your law that ye are God? John chapter 10, verse 34, 35. But what is the hold up is that the actual gods do not realize they're God.
Now, brothers, over the weekend, I had one of the most important conversations that I'll ever have with my son, right? One of the most important conversations ever. And the reason I say it was one of the most important conversations is because I can remember when my dad had that exact same conversation with me, and I now understand how much impact it had on me, right? I was in the 7th grade when I had this conversation with my dad, right? It was roughly about a year before he passed away. And I can remember, man, I was outside with my boys. I was playing basketball. And you always hear about me talk about the crew in the neighborhood. It was about 10, 12 of us roughly. We're in my house playing basketball. But this time it was a little different. See, I always talk about my crew, but there were two other neighborhoods of crews just like mine. We had the brothers up on Jones Road. It consisted of the Burke brothers. It consisted of the Hoyt brothers. They would come down. We had another neighborhood, man. It consisted of the Ronell and Donnell twins, and them brothers were from Chicago. They brought a whole nother element to the hood, right? But this particular day, man, all 3 hoods were at my house. And I can remember my dad pulled up from work, right? And he was walking in the house and he just stopped and looked for a sec. He was just observing, right? We still just balling. And he walked in the house and he said, "Hey, son, let me talk to you for a second." I'm like, okay, cool, And I go in, man, and I can see, I can feel his energy being somewhere that I rarely saw it, right? And he said, I'm gonna tell you something, man. He said, you see all those brothers out there you playing with? Again, at that time, it was about 20 of us, 25 of us, right? I said, yes, sir. He said, I'm gonna tell you. He said, in about 5 to 10 years, he said, some of those young brothers are gonna be in prison. He said, some of those young brothers are gonna be dead. He said, some of those brothers are gonna be strung out on drugs. And he said, what you have to do is find your place. And what you have to do is decide if you're going to be, a follower of the crowd, or if you're going to transition into a leader. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to lie, man. At the time he told me that, brother, I was heated. I believe I was heated for several months, because in my mind, I was thinking, why is my old man, tripping on my friends? Like what's going on? But what he was explaining to me in so many words, and that was so far above my head, what he was saying is, right now, son, like you're going through the middle chamber. And right now, the decisions you make are going to be crucial to how your life is going to pan out, right? Because you have to understand, every single man goes through this, right? When every single man is growing up, from his birth to around 11, 12, 13 years old, he's in a mode of just soaking up information. He's just like, I'm looking at mom, I'm looking at dad, what do I do? But when he gets around 13, man, he gets a little hair on his chest. He starts to, start transitioning into manhood. Now that's the idle time for a young man. And that time could last just a year or two, but on average, that time is going to last between around 13 to about 18 years old. And I'm telling you, that idle time is the most deadliest time for in a man's life. But what my dad was explaining to me was just symbolic on several things that men go through in life. That one, 13 to 18 is just symbolic on the stage that a man will see his whole life. What's going on, Blue Blaze? And what's going on, Joseph F? So you got to understand, guys. Anytime you're in life and you're going from one state, from one vibration to another, whether it be good or bad, whether it be lower or higher, you have to understand that before you start going the other direction completely, you have to understand there's going to be a state of stagnation. You have to understand there's going to be a time where your mind is idle. You have to understand that there's going to be a time where your mind is just in complete soak mode. And that's a dangerous area, guys. So going back to the conversation I said I had with my son, one of the most important conversations I've had with him, right? I'm telling him the exact same things that my dad was telling me. And the thing is, I'm understanding it from a different viewpoint now, because I'm a father telling it to my son. I can now understand what my dad was feeling or trying to express when he was telling me that, right? So I'm telling my son the exact same thing. I notice now he has a group of friends, they're all on group chat, they're all hanging down at the basketball court. So I know what phase he's in, right? So again, I'm telling him the exact same thing. And I can tell when my son is listening. He was tuning in. He understood what I was saying. But brother, I really wanted to cement in what I was trying to get down to him, right? I understood that, my days aren't promised here. And if I leave today, I need him to know what I'm trying to get him to understand, right? So what I began to do, I began to tell my son my experiences, right? I began to tell him about the things that I did, the things that I did with my friend. I said, man, I've done some things. I said, man, your dad has done some things that would have put me in jail for a long time. And then things that I swore I would go to my grave with, things that only maybe me and one or two of my closest friends know. I shared those stories with them. And the reason I shared the story with him is because the result I got from him was his eyes got big. He was like, what were you thinking about? Like you must have been stupid. And that's what I wanted to get. I want him to see how stupid it was from outside of himself. You know what I'm saying? And now he gets it, man. But I'm telling you, at any point in time in your life, guys, that transition is the deadliest area. And, I see this same thing in other areas of my life. You know what I'm saying? I can remember when I went from a stage of being married to being a single man on my own path, right? So you think about it, what's going on, Gabrielle? From Finland. Good to see you again, my friend. You think about it, you know, when I was going from this mindset of being a married man, you know, to going to being a single guy, to going my own pathway, again, there's that idle area. You know, I can still remember the day I signed my divorce papers. You know what I'm saying? And I was a quote unquote free man. Everything had changed. I was no longer tied to a relationship. I was no longer expected to be, you know, in a committed situation. I could conduct myself in a whole nother way, right? Now, my ultimate plan, when I first, you know, when I first got in that, hey, we need to get divorce mode and we went our separate ways, my thing, I could see my end goal. I could see myself actually being where I am now. But you got to think about this. I got divorced over 10 years ago. So instead of me coming out of that situation, jumping into where I am now, I was stuck. I was stuck in that middle chamber of death for several years. And let me tell you, let me explain to you what I mean when I say that middle chamber. You know, in that type situation, when guys come out of relationships, not even if it's marriage, and they see the end goal where they want to be, I'm telling you, this is the most dangerous area. Reason one is women are coming, right? You know, you just come out of a situation and you're vulnerable. You're going to be attracting all these low vibrational women, for one. So that's when you get all the brothers going through all these bad experiences, saying, "Oh man, well, a woman did like this. She took my money. She cheated on me. She did X, Y, and Z." It's because you're in that middle chamber, brother. Instead of just going to your end goal, you wanted to hang around and observe what was going on. You didn't go to the end. Another thing that happens in the area, that's when a lot of brothers get caught up in this, you know, social media, this whole red pill thing. And I say that because that's what I did. Again, instead of going straight to where my goal was my destination was, I soaked around in this middle chamber, right? And got caught up in the middle. I got caught up in idleness. I got caught up in idleness, guys. And this is what happens. The first thing you'll see is when you're in idleness, man. The thing is, it's a comfortable spot. It's a comfortable spot. Because the thing is, you'll see brothers there just like you. You'll see brothers there that can identify with you. And the thing is, it took me out of my element. You know, that's when I got on YouTube and started talking about my problems. That's when I got on YouTube and started talking about, you know, women ain't this and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And what I didn't understand, what I didn't understand is that not only was I remaining in a low vibrational state, not only was I uh, uh, talking about things that were unbecoming of a man, I was creating my life. Again, I come out of a situation and was going on my own way, but was stuck in this middle area, was stuck in this land of stagnation and remained there. And I'm telling you, man, brothers are remain. Appreciate it, brother. Brother, choose logic. I'll give you a fat at ease, brother. Appreciate that $9.99 super chat. But brothers, and I see my brothers get stuck in this all the time. I'm telling you guys, this middle ground is a dangerous spot. And it's applicable to everything. Again, every single time a man is going from A to B, it's applicable. What's going on, brother? Brother said at ease. Let me share this link. Anybody want to get him chime in? Got a link up there. Because you have to understand, guys. You have to understand that when you go from A to B, when you're changing direction, this is when a man is in his weakest moment. This is when a man is still a sponge. Going back to when men are in their teenage years and they're going to this looking toward manhood. This is why brothers are getting strung out on drugs. This is why brothers are hanging with the wrong crowd. Because you're transitioning and you're looking. You know what I'm saying? You're looking. Appreciate that, brother. Orbit Health Fitness. Give you fat 80s, brother. Appreciate that $25. Neil Organ says, here's your soul. But the Rasta the Boss says, I'm stuck in the middle, soul. Brother, you're not the only one. every single man at some point in his life will go through this transition. And I'm telling you, brother, this is a dangerous area. I've always heard that idle mind is the devil's workshop. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I, look back, look at my past, looked at me coming out of certain things, even looking at me, coming out of religion, even looking at me coming out of different career paths, coming out of relationships. That transition is always a deadly area, brothers. For the Logan McLeod, so I can say hands down, you single-handedly changed my life. The lessons you spoke on and taught me have made me move 800 miles from home by myself to start a new career. Bless you, my brother. I appreciate that, brother McLeod. I really appreciate it. So the thing is, how do you overcome this thing? You know what I'm saying? How do you mitigate the things that are going to take place when you're in the middle chamber? I heard somebody say this the other day, and I've heard it many times before, but it all comes down to a man's diet. Now, when I say diet, I'm not strictly talking about what a man is eating, right? I'm talking about what a man is taking in on every level. I'm talking about what a man is eating, what a man is listening to, what a man is talking about, what a man is reading, what a man is watching on a daily basis. That's his diet. These are the things that will keep you from transitioning, or the words, from coming out of darkness. Right here it says, the subconscious mind will not remain idle. If you fail to plant desires in your subconscious mind, it will feed upon the thoughts which reach it as a result of your neglect. That's from Think and Grow Rich. In other words, it says the mind can't remain idle. And it goes back to what Bob was saying. Either we're going forward or we're going backward, but nothing can remain still. And what Think and Grow Rich said, you know what? It's not even up to you. Like if you don't want to participate and feed your mind good things, feed your soul good things, like the negative things will find their way. You know what I'm saying? I'm always talking about, brothers, be careful what you watch on television. Brothers, be careful about things you read, the movies you watch, the music you listen to. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm holier than thou. Like I'm not trapping it up when I'm at the gym. Like I'm not watching the same, some of the same movies that everybody else is watching. But you have to, either one, limit that stuff, or you have to, two, just be aware of the messages that are being implanted in your soul, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Again, I think back to when I first found this red pill stage, man. And I think about how many years of my life I wasted. And I'm not sitting here throwing shots at anybody talking about any kind of content. Y'all know how I feel about that. I think that the conversations on all levels need to be had. When brothers are coming out of situations and jumping into, YouTube world, they need that therapy. So I'm not sitting there saying some brothers shouldn't talk about X. I'm talking about soul. I'm strictly talking about myself. When I first came out of my divorce 10 plus years ago, before I signed my divorce papers, I saw myself where I was right now. This was my goal, to be in the, maybe not doing what I'm doing, but to be in the vibration that I'm in right now. First thing I did, same thing I did in my teenage years. I'm sweating, man. First thing I did in my teenage years, I backed up and I just started absorbing. The world around me. I got on YouTube and heard brothers saying, you know what? This is how women did. This is how the world is. This is what female nature is. And me being green/blue, I just attached to it. I started making that my world. That's what Think and Grow Rich was saying. It's like, you know what? If you're not pouring the right things in your mind, don't worry about it. Oh, the things are coming. Don't worry about it. You're gonna get intel. But you have to be aware that the negative things are going to find their way back in, man. And that's what most people do in every situation. And that's what I was trying to relate to my son. And that's what I want to relate to my brothers, man. It's that transition period that's dangerous. This is a great talk. So the shorts are fire, but the long ones are where it's at. Long time listener. I sure appreciate that, Alexis Moore. Rasta says I'm on the same stuff, Logan. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Zion. Again, I'm gonna drop this link. Anybody want to jump in? Feel free. Tony the Sage says they say people are in your life for seasons, and everything that happens is for a reason. Amen. You know what? There's a book, brother. There's a book called matter of fact, here it is right here. There's a book called Good to Great. Now, I'm not recommending this book. I was actually forced to read this book back when I was still in corporate America world. But that book says this. Give me one sec, brother. My brother Eric Stanley. The middle ground is a powerful opportunity for growth. Amen. That's when I found your videos and I was inspired by how you changed, brother. Appreciate that super chat, brother. Let me give you at ease. That's my brother Eric Stanley. If y'all haven't heard this brother's music, please check out his Instagram. Please check out his YouTube. This brother is a beast on the violin. World renowned, brother. This brother is very good at his craft. Thanks a lot, brother. Alan Silva says, I'm in the beginning of changing directions. Thanks, souls, for everything. Appreciate that super chat, brother. Let me give you appreciate it, brother. But let me go back to what I was saying, brother. In that book, Good to Great, there are a few good nuggets in that book, but this is what I took away from that. You know, that book in general is talking about a lot of, Fortune 500 companies. It talks about when they were going through their stage of a downfall. Maybe they lost a CEO. Maybe they were in a bad economy. Whatever the case, these companies found themselves in the middle chamber of death, right? So some of these companies somehow or another brought themselves out, just started skyrocketing, right? So this book is about how they moved, what they did. And this is one thing I got out of this book. It says, they talked about, they said that the important thing is not where you're going, but to have the right people on the vehicle where you're going, right? And this right here says, the executives who ignited the transformations from good to great did not first figure out where to drive the bus. No, they first got the right people on the bus and the wrong people off of it. Brother, I'm telling you this. When I learned this in life, this was game changing. And I'm telling you, this is what most brothers and sisters can't do. This is the hard part. This is what I talked about in the path. If you haven't seen the path, this was that second stage I talked about. I'm telling you, the far majority of people can't release that past. They can't release those people they're attached to. I'm telling you, man, I have people, man, that I grew up with, and I have people that I served in the military with. And I have people that I've done dirt with, that I understand. I say, you know what? I have to say, you know what? At some point in time, I have to get these people off of the bus. You know what I'm saying? And it all comes down to vibration. If you're vibrating on a different level, and you're associating with low vibrational people, or not even low, people that are just vibrating on something else. I'll say that, right? If you're trying to get to be, you have to understand that these people can't go. Not that you don't want them to go, not that these people, if they're going to vibrate there, they can't go. So one of two things are going to have to happen. Either they're going to have to change to meet your vibe, or you're going to have to fall back to meet theirs. But you can't stay with somebody. You can't be hanging with people. You can't have people on your bus that aren't vibrating with you. You know what I'm saying? You can't continue to pour things into your mind that aren't alike where you're trying to go. In other words, you can't be sitting at home watching world star hip hop, watching people fight every day and expect to get to a high vibrational level. You can't be watching what Nene and them are doing on Housewives of Atlanta and think your world is gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? It's all about energy. It's all about vibrations. Everything. Brother John Doe said, idle time is the devil's playground. Amen, brother. Truck 49 said, I'm at the crossroad of my personal life, employee to boss. You know what? I'm glad you said that, brother, because that's one of the things I was telling my son. And I said this on the last live. I said, son, this is what you got to understand. I said, when you're going through a stage of being a leader in your life, I said, this is what you have to understand. Give me one second. I said, you have to understand that when you first make this transition, I said, brothers are going to be looking at you. Brothers are going to look at you and they're going to laugh at you and say, why are you doing what you're doing? I'm talking about, and that's even when you're a young man, you know, when you stop doing the drugs, when you stop doing the drinking, when you stop doing all the whatever us men did in our teenage years, brothers are going to say back, oh, this brother's lame. This brother's this brother's that. I said, brother, if you're going to be a leader, you're going to have to fight through that. I said, because those same men are going to be looking to you for advice. Them same men, them same women are going to be looking to you in admiration. So going back to what the brother said, he's going from employee to boss. I said this on my last live. I said, I can remember when I was, you know, every time I went out of town and I was working, I would link up with my my coworkers and colleagues, right? And we would do our business. You know, we would get the bag. But after that, you know, everybody go home and get showered and say, hey, man, we finna go out and hit the club. We finna go hit the bar. We finna do this. And I was like, no, brother. I'm like, man, I'm good. You know, I would go every once in a while, have a drink or two, man, and dip back to the hotel. But brother, I'm telling you, for the last 2 years of my career, brothers would always joke like, brother, you know, if you go to Dallas, you know, when the brothers come to Dallas and work with me, this, man, you know, when you go to Dallas, you know, it's gonna be an early night, you know, because you know that brother going in. You know, I'm like, yeah, brother, I got it. You know, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. So this is the thing. And this is what I was telling my son. I said, man, one of my partners called me the other day that I used to work with. Love this brother from San Antonio. He's a little older. He's getting ready to retire now. He says, hey, man, I'm just calling to check on you, man. I ain't seen you. You know, you left, man. Everybody just kind of like wondering what you're doing. Because when I left, I just dipped. I didn't tell nobody what I was doing. I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And the brother said, we just checking on you. Appreciate it, brother. Rasta the boss. We appreciate you, so real talk at ease, brother. And he said, I'm just checking on you, brother. He said, how's everything going? I said, man, life is good. He said, you started working yet? You got a job? I'm like, nah, brother. When I left. Like I left on my own will because I was done with this world, right? And he was like, what are you doing, man? I said, well, Steve, I said, man, you remember all those nights? You know, we would go out, man, we would get the bag, you know, we win these big accounts, and then we'll fall back and everybody, you know, said, let's go drinking this. I said, and I would always fall back. He was like, yeah. I said, well, what I was doing, man, I said, I was going to my hotel room and I was reading books on investing in stocks. You know, I was reading books on how to move my money. I was doing YouTube videos some nights. I said, and now, brother, I'm good. Like a job, like that's why I put that work in. That's why I let y'all sit there and make the jokes about me, because now here I am in my mid 40s and I'm done with that world. You know what I'm saying? So going back to what you're saying, brother, you know, you said you're going through that transition. Understand that some brothers are going to laugh at the way you move, man. So some brothers are going to make fun of you saying, you know what? I want to get out and do my own thing. And I'm not sure what you want to do. I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to do construction. I'm going to open up Amazon shipping. Whatever you finna do, man. Brothers are gonna throw shade your way. But one thing of advice I would give you, man, is to keep your plan under wraps. Keep your plan under wraps. Because one thing you gotta understand when you're in this middle chamber of death, you know, is that people are in a stagnant energy, right? So anytime you throw any kind of light, like, hey, you know what? This is what I'm about to do. I'm about to make a move. I'm about to come out of this thing we're in. Brothers are going to be like, oh, man. And what they're going to want to do, they're going to want to attach themselves to that to bring it down. Oh, man, look at Joe over there trying to start his business. Oh, Joe don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you go against that grain, you have to expect it. Man, I'm telling you, I have some brothers in the red pill community. I have some brothers, and I still call them brothers because I love these brothers in the manosphere that I'll just say don't mess with soul no more. I'm assuming. I don't know, you know, what the reason is. Let me get this off here. You know, I don't know what the reason is. I noticed some brothers, you know, just stop following me on certain social medias because my message changed. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's my confirmation.
That's my confirmation. But because when everybody's on soul's boat, when I'm sitting there talking about, bees ain't this and move like this, and brothers, I'm like, and when everybody look at my old channel, man. My old channel went up to what, 99,000, and when I stopped that message, it stopped. When I said, hey, come on over to this new message, man, we on some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Brothers was like, oh, Soul's talking about it's 5% of women that are still good. Like, oh, this brother. That's my confirmation. I feed off of that. Because when I get that, I say, you know what? I'm leaving the matrix. I'm elevating. I'm leaving this middle chamber of death. And the reason I call it the middle chamber of death is because not only is it dangerous as far as like, as far as like women, that's the time when you're more susceptible to getting caught up with women, but also due to the stagnation. I said this 2 years ago on my old channel in the midst of talking about women ain't this. I said, brothers, and some of you might can find it. I said, if you get on my channel in a year and I'm talking about the exact same thing, unsubscribe, because now I'm a danger to you. Because if you're following me and I'm not evolving, then you're staying here right where I am. And I said, and this is what I said, and you can quote me and I'll find it. I said, some of you brothers that follow me now will not follow me in a year. I said, I don't know where I'll be, but I won't be here. You know what I'm saying? I won't be talking about the same things. And this is what I mean, brother. When I said it's what did I say? It was taking me out of my manly character to talk about certain things. This is what I understood. And again, no shaded nobody. This is what I understood as a man, as I began to come out of that world of stagnation. What I began to see, I said, man, hold on, give me one sec, brothers. Salute, brother Decal, at ease. Brother Logan McCloud said, Soul taught me there's nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing, brother. I am the universe. The universe is me. So I left to be on my own. Now I don't have to entertain family, friends, or friends who drain my energy. It's just me. Amen, brother. Simba Andrews, what's up, brother? I appreciate the $10 super chat. As a young man who wants to be great enough to build a city, what is your greatest piece of advice? As a young man who wants to be great enough to build a city, what is greatest piece of advice? The greatest piece of advice, brother, is to start that city within. This is what you gotta understand. Whatever it is you want to create, whether it's a city, whether it's whatever, whether it's to bring a certain person in your life, whether it's to bring a certain career in your life, or whether it's to build a city, like your brother said, which is only symbolic of everything. All you have to do is become that. All you have to do is become that energy, man. And I know that's broad. That's a broad statement, but that's as narrow as it can get. If you want to bring violence into your city, well, all you have to do is do the things of violence. All you have to do is listen to violent music. All you have to do is watch murdering on TV. All you have to do is, and your life will eventually become that by default. That's what the quote said. That's what the book said. He said, in Think and Grow Rich, it says you can't remain idle, which means you're going to be going back and forth at all times. You can't remain idle. So how do you build a city? By pouring a city in it. Whatever your city looks like, pour that into your life and just become that, brother. It's as simple as that. Appreciate that super chat, though, brother. But going back to what I was saying, I don't want to lose my thought. Appreciate that, brother Simba. When I said I was not becoming of a man, that's what I said, right? And I said, this is my thing. Where was I at? I said, yeah, this is my thing. I found myself, talking about a certain thing. And I said, you know what? I noticed as I was talking about a certain thing, when I was talking about a certain woman every single day. And the thing is, I was spitting facts. When I still hear brothers talking about women is why women, they're still spitting facts. But the thing is, they're creating that at the same time. But this is what I understood. As I start stepping from the middle chamber and start stepping into moving like a god, I understood the things that I was saying, man. And I was almost embarrassed. I was almost embarrassed as a man looking at some of my old videos. Because this is what I was saying. Ultimately, this is what I was saying. What I was saying ultimately was that I don't know who I am. I was saying I have no clue who I am. Because if I believe that I was put on this world to be in charge, to rule, then brother, I have to move like that. Appreciate that, brother Mike Weary, the great. Salute, big homie. Been following you, been following since you've been quoting Outwin the Devil. Love that book. Appreciate the $4.99, brother. FTB Kennels, $5. Appreciate that super chat, brother. Said Square, I would like to book consultation with you. Appreciate that, brother. Just go to immortalminds.com, consultations, and book it through there, brother. I would love to chop it up with you. But what I was saying is, I don't know who I am. Because how can I say I'm a man, I'm in charge of this world, but sit there and say, you know what, these women, that's what Adam did in the Bible. You know, God, these women, they ain't acting right. God, these women, they aren't doing this. They out of control, God. What was I saying? What was I putting out there? Picture this. Picture me as a father. I'm a father. I have a son, 13 years old, right? What do I look like as ruler of this household, as a man on this planet, to sit back and say, you know what, God or brothers, don't have children. Children are out of control. Children are just lost. Man, we just need to quit having children. My son is out of control. He's uncontrollable. What am I saying? I'm saying I don't have control over this situation. I'm saying I have no control over my jurisdiction, whether it's this house or whether it's my whole planet. Me as a man to complain about anything on this planet is to say, I don't know who I am. There's nothing else to say. Now, I might talk about the 95% woman. This is no. Every man needs to know that there is a woman out there that just by the world standard that is out to get a man. This is biblical. This is biblical. But at the same time, I'm not sitting there saying, brothers, don't do this. And women are because when I go that route, I'm saying I've lost control of this whole situation. I've lost control, and that's unbecoming of me. So when I changed my frequency and started coming out of that, I saw all the repercussions, that go through the transition, just like I did when I was young, just like I did when I was leaving my job, just no different when I was coming out of this whole super red pill mentality. But the Simba says men been complaining about women since day one, and I get it. I'm not. Let me say this, man. I don't want to sit here and act like I'm saying that women are just the greatest thing on the planet right now. I understand that the state we're in. I understand that women are doing all these things. But let me tell you this, brothers. Let me tell you this. Be straight up. I'm gonna be straight up. If you don't hear nothing else that I say on here, listen to this. When it comes to women acting crazy in my life, in my world, I realized it was all my fault. I realized that women only respond to men based on the energy they put out. You know what I'm saying? So we can sit here and say that all women are this, women act manly. Women don't act manly around me. They don't act manly. There's not enough room. There's not enough room. When I step in a room, if I'm one-on-one with a woman, there's only enough room for one man in the conversation. So but without her even knowing it, she's gonna fall back in her feminine nature. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. You bring the bottom of the 95% out here and put her in a room with me. She's going to be different. And I understand that now. I understood that all the problems I was having was based on me. It was based on my weakness. So what I'm going to get online for and say, oh, the women are not with. There's still some sour women out there, of course. But going back to vibration, they don't even fit on my vibration anymore. So if I'm out and about, they won't even come in my circle. They can't even conversate with me because they don't vibrate while I'm vibrating. And that's all I'm trying to do is to get brothers to raise the vibration. That's going to eliminate all the BS, man. All the BS, man. These women that aren't up to par, let's not complain about them. Let them go. Leave them be, man. Let them do what they do, man. Like I said, what do you think? What do you think? I ain't got my glasses on. But Logan says, what you think about comes about. What you focus on grows. Amen. That goes back to what it said right here in Outwin the Devil. I mean, in Think and Grow Rich. The subconscious mind will remain idle. If you fail to plant desires in your subconscious mind, it will feed upon the thoughts which reach it as a result of your neglect. As a result of your neglect, which means you have to be conscious about it. You can't just be skipping around the world and living life and being a part of the matrix without understanding that your subconscious is feeding 24 hours a day. It's feeding. To not know that is death. You have to understand that your subconscious is feeding 24 hours a day. So even if you don't want to, even if you're not in the mood, every once in a while, you need to go pick a book up. Every once in a while, you need to watch a good documentary, because the subconscious is always feeding. That's just like getting up, going to churches and pies every day. The body is feeding off that, and you know that. And the next day you go to eat some fried catfish. The next day you go eat you a big T-bone steak. The next day you go, drink 30 crowns and Cokes. At some point, your body is going to start doing a certain thing. See, we know this. We fully understand that. But when it comes to the spiritual side of things, we act like it's completely different. The subconscious is just like the spiritual body. It's feeding off of something. So that's why every once in a while, even if we're not healthy, every once in a while, we smart enough to say, you know what? Let me throw a salad in that thing, man. Let me eat a few fruits and veggies, man. Let me drink some water. We know this stuff. But when it comes to the spiritual side, we watching the Hub every day. Housewives, World Star, and all these other things, all these greasy spiritual things, man. But we're not putting two and two together, man. It's the exact same thing. Azalea Purcell said, dudes will say women are evil, but women are followers. Who did they learn to be evil from? I agree, brother. And the thing is, I can say this. I wouldn't even feel comfortable saying this about brothers, and including myself, if I hadn't been doing that same thing. I would feel funny saying, man, brothers are creating their own world. Brothers are, women are following us. Women are responding to us. I would feel funny if I wasn't on the other end of it, because I was on the lower vibration end of it, man. I'm sitting there saying women are this and that. Man, I'm embarrassed. And matter of fact, I believe I've deleted some of those videos since then. I'm telling you, brother, any situation you can think about women, this is what I mean. Some women, everybody knows some woman that's been with some guy. And she's, oh man, she's dogged this brother. Oh man, she cheated on this brother. Oh man, she did this right here. And then everybody says, oh, well, this woman is no good. And maybe she's not. But then you'll see that same woman get with another dude, and she's completely different. She's talking about, this, she's a whole different person. She's moving different. She's dressing different. She's talking different. Her friends are different. She hasn't changed. She just had to change her vibration to get with another dude. When she gets with a man in his masculinity, she can't be doing all that BS. It no longer fits. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, brother, it took me 40 plus years to learn this. It took me 40 plus years to learn it. And that's why I'm talking about it now. So you brothers that are 20, you brothers that are 25 right now, you're not stuck in the middle chamber. You brothers shouldn't be looking at YouTube videos. I mean, look at YouTube videos to learn. Understand that there's a salty spot in the universe as far as, but you got to step into your godship. You got to come out of that. You have to say, man, you got to look at this. Not even about women. You have to understand that the whole world responds to you. Hold on, let me get back on. You have to understand that the whole world responds to you, not just women. And it goes back to one of my favorite quotes. You brothers hear me talk about this all the time. I heard Neville Goddard say it, but he was quoting Winston Churchill. And Winston Churchill said, men think that, hold up, take this out. He said, men think that, and he was talking about money. He said, men think that once they get to a certain financial level, then they'll feel a certain way. They'll feel like, I got the bag, now I'm good. He said, what they don't understand is that once they feel this feeling, then that world is coming to see them. You know what I'm saying? What that says is What they're saying is that the world is responding to us, not us to it. I'm telling you, brother, when I heard that, I had to stop for a day. I had to stop for a day and just analyze my life. That changed everything for me. Because see, what most people do, they respond to the world. You know, you wake up in the morning, you watch the news, you look at the Facebook, you look at the gram and see all the gossip. It's okay. Well, this is how the world is moving right now. This is what the president said. These are the wars that are coming. This is what the economy is said to be doing. And you respond to that. Winston Churchill said that's BS. He said the world responds to us. That's why I don't pay attention to none of it, because it doesn't pertain to me. It doesn't pertain to me. So why watch it? Create your own world, man. Brother Chi, appreciate that super chat, brother. This God Talk series is beyond amazing so far. God bless you, Brother Chi. I thank you. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that super chat. Free. Thanks for that 555 super chat. Free says, thanks for the knowledge, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the super chat. Penny Property says, you talking right, bro. Thanks. Richard Odin. That's God energy right there. Thanks, brother Richard. And Joe said, life happens to you, not to you. Man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. This is, I don't know where it ranks. I don't know where it ranks, but I do know when I heard that, it changed everything. Because all I did when I heard it, I just sit back and I thought about all the decisions I'd made in life. Even when I think back to when I was young, when I say when I was 18, when I got married at 20, when I joined the military, when I got out and went into a certain career path, all that was based on me responding to the world. I had no idea I could create my own world. I remember when I got married, man. And man, me and my ex-wife, we dated when I was 15. We were together, man. And even now, as co-parents, we're like this. That's why I feel comfortable talking about it, man. Because we're like this, man. But I remember when I was getting married, it was just the energy in my tail. That's what you did. You went to high school, you graduated. If you want to go to college, But you now it's time to get a wife. Now it's time to do this. So I was like, hey, I'm just following status quo. You know what I'm saying? I'm just jumping in line. I joined the military. It was like, you know what? You have to be doing this. So I'm like, when really I could have did whatever I wanted to do right then. I was responding to the world, not knowing that the world was responding to me. I could have moved however I moved. I got out of the military and jumped in the oil field because that's what the world told me. That me as a black man around 30 years old with, at the time, only associate's degree, all I could do. You can't open your own business. You can't start your own brand. You can't do all these things. This is your pot. This is your pot. Here you go. Enjoy. So I just follow status quo. And that's what everybody is doing. They're responding to whatever the world is telling them. That's the danger of the television shows. That's the danger of social media. Because you get online and you see the brothers with the Lambos, you see the brothers with the big houses, and it's telling you, okay, well, if I'm not trading several hundred thousands or several millions in stocks, if I'm not Amazon shipping Amazon products on this, if I'm not doing this, if I don't have 1 million subs on Instagram, then I can't live a certain life. And you're responding to that. You're saying, you know what, let me just sit back in my corner and either wait my turn or just live life according to the matrix. That's the danger of it. That's the danger of when whole time you could have changed your whole life. Whole time you could have done it. You know what I'm saying? You get stuck in that middle chamber. That's where most people live. The far majority of the population, if you're just going along with what the matrix says, if you feel like you have to have a college degree to win, if you feel like you have to have a 800 credit score to have things, you're in the middle chamber. You have to step out of that, man. You have to start thinking for yourself. Shout out to my homegirl, Shaq, Mr. Soul. That's my sister. Go follow on Instagram. Appreciate that, sister. Ty C. Fremont says, it has taken me a long time to understand it's the man that births the women in the spirit. That's why submission is very important to the right one. And and I said this, appreciate that, sister. And I said that just a few weeks ago. See, I always thought that a man had to let it be known that, hey, you know what? I'm looking for a submissive woman. Let me get some tea right quick. I got me some peach tea. Some peach tea is fire. Just bought it this morning. I always thought that a man had to let that be known. Like, hey, you know, if you want to come into my life, you need to be a submissive woman. It's crazy for a man to even have that conversation. Any man that's even having that conversation is saying one and only one thing. I'm not a man you should be submitting to, because he's questioning himself. When a man is in his full masculinity, it's not even an option. It's not even something you have to talk about. It just is. It just is. And the thing is, you know, we talk about women resisting submission. And maybe there's a small portion of women that resist submission. Okay. But the far majority of women that are resisting it don't want to. They don't want to resist it. They want a certain man to come in their life, to walk a certain way, to move a certain way, so they can fall back in their femininity. The thing is, they're resisting. It seems like they're resisting because that masculinity is not there. And if you're the type, brother, you have to have a conversation about it, you're lacking it. I'm gonna tell you that. I don't have to have that talk with any woman. It just is. I don't have to know. And I'm not even talking about relationships. I'm talking about period. Even busy relationship, I'm still in my masculinity. We can work together, but you're still going to be in your femininity, because I don't know how to operate outside of that. I don't know how to operate outside of it. So it just is. And I'm telling you, that's where women desire to be. You're actually putting a woman in her superpower when you do that. That's where she wants to be, man. And that's where the beauty, and I'm not going to go in this whole thing. That's where when you talk about relationships, dynamic relationships, that's where the beauty is. That's a whole nother conversation. I might get into that on the next one. But that's where we're lacking, man. We don't even need to have those conversations. And I'm telling you, if we just step into our masculinity, 80% of the topics we're talking about, as far as men and women and all this, it'll fall away. It'll fall away because there's no room for it. For one, I'm not finna argue about a woman. I'm not finna go back online about men and women. I'm not finna do that. So not finna do it because that means I'm vibrating on the. I'm not even finna go there, man. I'm not even finna go there. Appreciate that, sister. I can't hear you. Sergeant 300 says, this time last year, I felt as if I was looking through a glass ceiling. This year, I don't see the ceiling at all. I appreciate that, brother, because real talk, there is no ceiling. There is no ceiling. Society puts it there. And when I say they put it there in many forms. They put it there in the form of college degrees. They put it there in the form of credit scores. They put it there in the form of, I'm going to say this. When I started my business, I started a business in 2009. Yeah, 2009. I started a trucking company. Trucking company was called Straight Path Trucking. Had a couple of trucks on the fleet, right? Did good. Made some good money, right? This was just after my divorce. Weeks before that, I'll say roughly a month before that, is when I found the book, As a Man Thinketh. And it says, my first time reading it, when it says, man does not attract what he wants, man attracts what he is. I said, BS. I said, if this is true, I'm going to test it. What did I do? I went down to the Volvo dealership with on God, at least a 520 credit score. At the highest of 520 credit score. Went to the Volvo dealership, looked around at trucks. I walked in that energy. You probably damn near would have believed I owned that spot if you would have saw me that day, man. And I said, brother, that's the one I want right there. I like this right here, man. Drove around the block. He's all right, brother. Let's go do some paperwork. I'm chest is out. I am that I am. You know what I'm saying? Fill that paperwork out. Got the keys. 2 weeks later, I had a truck on the road. 520 credit store. Started my business. See, I stepped outside the matrix, man. I stepped out. See, you think all this stuff, man. The world wants you to believe, and that's just their way of putting a cap on you. The world wants you to believe that you have to have certain things to get to achieve certain goals or to hit certain. It's BS, guys. And that's a hard pill to swallow. That right there is not for everybody. That's only for about 10% of you. Because a lot of you are so attached to having certain things, to having certain credentials. You put so much energy on your credentials. You know what I'm saying? I used to drive through before I bought my house in Tyler back in 2004 or whatever. I used to see all these houses, man. I was in my 20s, 28, whatever I was. And I was like, appreciate that, brother. I was like, oh man, to have this kind of house, man, these guys are probably doctors. I would see the big cars in the driveway. I mean, you probably got to be a lawyer. You probably got to do this. And I just got in that energy of, you know what? I am that I am. Like I can create whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, crazy things will happen when you get in that energy. What I was doing, and some of you heard me say this before, what I was doing was every single Sunday, every single day I got off work, I would take the scenic ride home and I'll go through these neighborhoods and say, damn, man, look at these cribs. And I would say, one day I'm going to be here. But what had happened was, before I even understood it, by me going through these neighborhoods every single day, I became that energy and didn't even know it. I became that energy in about a month's time of just making these daily cruises, man. And I remember one day what I used to do, I was so embarrassed of even thinking about having one of these houses. I would wait until Sunday and I would go up to the realtor place, and when it would close and they had these little books out front, I would get the little books and I would take the book home and I would look at it all week. But I would only go when they were closed, because I how dare me, even entertain the thought of living in these houses. And one day I went up there on a Sunday, no cars in the parking lot, lights out, nobody's there, just like normal. I walk up, I get the book right there 2 feet away from me. Door opens up. I'm like, oh snap. He said, hey man, how you doing? Cool cat. And we just sitting there talking, man, just come on in. Let me see if I can get you. I'm like, nah, brother. That night. Long story short, I went there, man. An hour later, I'm going back to the house, telling my wife, like, hey, we finna get ready to get one of these cribs. Like I had no idea we could have already been in this. We could have already been here. And we're sitting there talking about 5 or 6 years later. The thing is, we had gotten that energy, man, and we had attracted that, man. So income and credits, all that stuff was out the window, brother. And now that I know that, that's why I give it no credit. Yeah, I have a degree. I have 2 degrees. They mean nothing to me. They're actually purposeless to me. They serve me no purpose right now. Zero purpose. You know what I'm saying? Salel the Joyce says, so true. Shakira Griffith says, it's natural for a woman to submit to a man who's worthy of that submission. And all he has to do is walk in this godship. He ain't got to beat his chest. He ain't got to be swole. He ain't got to have a certain amount of money. See, a lot of you brothers think that, oh, if I ain't, these women talk about that, oh, you got to make six figures. Brother, if you walk in your mat, this is the thing. And this is where it gets confusing. She's saying that. A woman is saying, well, when a man got to make 6 figures, a man got to, it's part BS, but this is the thing. If you go up to a woman and you're in your full energy, you're in your godship, you're in your masculine, whatever you want to call that, a woman is going to be attracted to that. She all that 6-figure stuff, all that Benz, all that big crib stuff, it's gone. It's gone out the window. But the thing is this, when a man is walking in that energy, at the same time, now he knows how to get the bag. Now he knows how to get the crib. Now he knows how to get the Benz. So what a woman is doing, she's speaking to the after fact. She's speaking to the byproducts of this man. You know what I'm saying? She's saying, you know what? Well, I want a man with this. She's saying, I want a manly man. But the thing is this, that's where it gets confusing, because you have a lot of guys that try to hack the system. When a guy's not walking in his energy, when a man just wants to go out and buy the belts and buy the beans and buy the this, just because he sees certain brothers moving like that, that's when a sister gets with him, because she's like, oh, he's in his God energy. And she gets with him and she realizes, oh, he's really not there. He's just simulating what the other brothers are doing. And then things go to a wreck. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, sister. Danielle says, Danielle Wachira says, how do you transition to new when the old is your source of income and the new seems so big, so big a vision, but you have to be it. How you transition? How do you transition without crisis? It seems like you're saying, it's going to be the same across the board, and there's no such thing as too big. It's only too big for you or too small for you. But see, when you transition is all about sacrifice. There has to be some sacrifice in there, and that's the thing. Most people don't want to sacrifice. Let's say it sounds like you're talking about a job. Most people in today's world are being overworked. Most people are working too many hours, doing too many things, and it makes it hard. It makes it hard to make that transition. But at least for me, and at least for a lot of brothers I know, it's all about sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was putting in 16 hours a day, but I still had to read certain certain content to learn certain things. I remember working 16 hours a day and some weekends, but I still had to try to find time to make videos. So what I had to do, I had to sacrifice something. That means I had to sacrifice taking women out, hanging out with women. I had to sacrifice going out to drink beers after work. I had to sacrifice going to the club on Saturday. I had to sacrifice going to spend time with family. I had to sacrifice doing things with my son some days that I wanted to do, just because I knew that the end goal was right here. So it's all about sacrificing. And really nobody wants to sacrifice. Everybody wants their cake and they want to eat it too, man. Like Wentworth, I want my money now, whatever they say, It's all about sacrifice, sister. That's how you make that transition and just getting on a different frequency. You have to get on a different frequency than that old. So whatever you're surrounded by, the people you're surrounded by, the conversation, the TV shows you're watching, the music, all that is one frequency. It's one vibration. You got to burn it. You got to burn the boats and burn the bridges and step into that new mode. Even though you're living in the old world, you have to, in your mind, live in this new world. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to what Churchill said. Man thinks he's going to feel it once he sees it. He has to feel it first. He has to be it first. And then that world forms around him. So that's how you do it, sister. Mosho says, "Hey, Soul, thanks for giving your knowledge and wisdom. How did you overcome your failed businesses back in the day?" Man, and I failed some business. I done did some stuff, man, that I haven't even talked about. My thing is, I look at it all as purpose. I look at it all as to me, there's no good and bad in life. Everything is going toward the greater good. I talked about this on one video, I believe. I started a gym, right? Back in Longview, Texas. Went to I'm telling you, this is a long process. I remember I was living in Streetport. I remember going and getting the paperwork, and I got trained and lost weight and all this stuff, and I became a personal trainer. I got certified. That was the process. Got certified. Went and leased me a building, spent several thousands on paint and equipment and this and this and this. And before this thing even started, everything failed. Everything failed. But this is what happened. This is what happened. Like when I'm not sure if it was Neville or was it Napoleon. But they said in everything even if it seems bad, there's some good in it. So what I had to do, man, I stepped back. My pockets were low. I lost a lot of money. I had stuff was out of control. I had to say there's some good in it. And as soon as that happened, a whole nother door opened up that I didn't even expect. And that's kind of what helped me move to Dallas. So I look at that now and say, you know what? If that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be where I am now. So the way I look at failed businesses is I just extract the good out of it. I extract what I learned from it. I say, you know what? Either I learned something that I got to take with me, or this is repositioning me. You know what I'm saying? It's repositioning me to do something. So all things work for the good, brother. And that's how I handle it. Brother Jill P, I appreciate the $50 super chat. I'm gonna give you 2 at ease for that one, brother. Brother says, thank you for the words of inspiration. I appreciate the support, man. I really appreciate it. Choose Logic says, fully fight the urge by doing something more productive and watch how much energy you have to accomplish your goals. Life changing for me. You ain't lying about that, man. Because it's a thing. I can remember, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this. When you get these projects from work and you got to do stuff that you don't want to do, it's like instantly you're tired all day because it's like, you know what? I really don't want to put this report together for this company. Like I really don't, because it's not your purpose. But as soon as you start doing your thing, whether it's starting your YouTube page, whether it's writing your book, whether it's doing whatever, brother, some days you can be up 20 hours a day with ease. With ease. So brother, Choose Logic is right on point. He says fight the urge by doing something more productive. And I would add to that, say doing something you love doing. I'm telling you, man. Brother Peter says making sacrifices has been quite uncomfortable, but worth it. Amen, brother. I'll put this link back up here. Anybody wants to get in and chime in, you're more than welcome. Boom. There it is. Chocolate Coda said, choose logic. It's a gift because it comes out without demand. We give freely when we are not pressured to do. It is, as I'm sure your resources are a gift when not demanded. Demand kills relationships. Amen. I got my glasses on. It ain't that I can't read. Trust me, I can read. Brother Rico Salam says, inside every failure lies the seed of, that's it. Appreciate it, brother. That's what I was trying to find right there. Appreciate that, brother. Add ease on that one. It says, inside every failure lies a seed of equivalent success, Napoleon Hill. That's what I was talking about. So again, every time something bad is happening, there's some good that can be extracted. Like the brother says, there's an equivalent seed. So if it seems, a certain level of quote unquote badness, then there's just as much good to extract from it. Thank you for that, brother. That's what I was trying to relay, and that was Napoleon Hill's word. Again, real estate says the idle mind is the devil's workshop. Alan Silver says, I'm living proof. I started a podcast before the pandemic, and I actually prospered and bought a house that already had 15 bids on it. I'm going to tell you this. That's one thing, if nothing else, that the pandemic did. If nothing else, it let you know who was really vibrating, or it let you know if people were really vibrating where they said they were. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about people saying, oh, well, I got the bag. Oh, well, I got this. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it really let you know if people were moving as gods. It let you know if people were moving as fear or if they were just fronting. Because the world went crazy. The world went crazy. And I don't care who you are. Everybody was susceptible to lose their job. Everybody was susceptible to losing money. But certain people move certain ways. This brother said in the pandemic, not only did he start a podcast, but he bought a crib that already had 15 bids on it. That brother's walking in his godship, man. And I'm telling you, in 2020 and now in 2021, I'm seeing a lot of people separate themselves from them. Oh, that's one thing I can say about 2020. It made people either shit or get off the pot. Because everybody was talking about how they moved. Everybody was talking about, oh yeah, I'm moving and I believe in this. And this is how I walk on water. But when that ship got, when the waves got to coming, man, everybody was like, oh, it's not what, it was like, are you really about that life? This brother Alan Silver says, I'm about that life. I'm living proof. Thank you for that, brother. But again, it all comes down to this, guys. We have to understand that, like Bob Proctor says, energy is either going forward or it's going backwards, but it's never standing still. You know what I'm saying? And again, he was right in the grand scheme of things. He was dead on point. And Bob is one of my guys. But when you think about it, there has to be a point in time where that thing comes to a halt. Let's take a locomotive, as powerful and fast as they can be. If it's going east and all of a sudden that engineer gets directions to go west, he's gonna have to go a different direction. So at some point, regardless of how quick that transition happens, that locomotive with so much power is gonna have to be at a standstill for at least a moment. And I'm saying that in life, that moment is dangerous. Going back to when men are young, 13 years old, between 13 and 20, that's that middle chamber. That area is dangerous. That area is dangerous. If you aren't pouring the right things into it, just like Think and Grow Rich said, negative is going to find its way there. So you have to be conscious of it. You know what I'm saying? Then you have to understand ways to mitigate this whole thing. If you understand this whole process, then you have to say, you know what? One, I got to make sure I'm feeding my subconscious in the same manner I feed my body. In other words, if I'm eating steaks and greens and hog maws and pig feet, then even common sense tells me that, hey, today let me get a smoothie. Today, let me eat a salad, man. Yeah, I know I'm overweight, but at least let me show the third dimensional world that I'm aware that certain conditions, I'm aware that I can have heart attacks. So let me at least show a little something. It's the same with the subconscious. You can't be pumping BS down your throat 24 hours a day and expect for you to be able to create your world. You can't be watching these shows. You can't be reading these books. You can't be watching the hub 24 hours a day and expect for your world to prosper. You know what I'm saying? Then going back to good to great. Them brothers said, the way we got out of the middle chamber, in other words, the way we got our business is from failing from this dark spot to now a Fortune 500 or a Fortune 200 company. It was all about the people we had on the bus. And he said it really wasn't even about where the bus was going. It was about the people on the bus. He said what we had to do first is get the good people on the bus and get the bad ones off. All that's saying is, guys, in your circle, you're going to have to have the right people around you. And if you can't find the right people, you got to be willing to walk that thing solo. You know what I'm saying? The Beauty Jock says, yesterday I was watching a live and they did a giveaway. I said, I'm about to win. Shifted my energy to that of a winner and I won. Something small, but I manifested it. It was a powerful lesson. Amen. That goes back to Brother Churchill. And I'm going to say it again because I love saying it. Brother Churchill said when a man's thinking about wealth, right? He said men think that once they get this six figure, you know what I'm saying? Once they hit $1 million, once they get the house, once they get the cars, he said they think that once they get this thing, they'll feel a certain way. He said, but what they don't understand is, like the sister said, once they feel a certain way, then this thing has to come see them. You understand how powerful it is? Think about that. Where in there did he say, oh, well, you got to be a certain color skin? What did he say? Oh, you got to live on a certain side of the tracks. Oh, you had to graduate from a certain school. Oh, you're not Christian? Oh, you're not Muslim? You're not Buddhist? Oh, no, this don't pertain to you. He didn't say that. He said when a man's feel a certain thing, he said that world has to come see him. Brothers, that's life's cheat code. That's a cheat code, man. So if you're sitting there talking about, oh, I see you, Brother Stanley. If you're sitting there talking about, well, all women are doing me like this, or if you're sitting there saying, well, all because I'm black, then the world, or because I'm white, I can't go to HBC, or because I'm whatever, then you're saying you don't understand who you are. It's as simple as that, man. That is a cheat code. There's no sense of complaining about nothing. All you have to do is what the sister said. I got to read it again. Beauty Jock says, yesterday I was watching live and they did a giveaway. I said, I am about to win. Shifted my energy to that of a winner. And guess what happened? Sister said she won. Something small, but I manifested it. It was a powerful lesson. Amen, sister. Sister, Solil the Joy, I appreciate that super chat. Give you at ease. I see my brother in the building. Bring my brother on. Brother Eric Stan.
What's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. How's everything going?
Okay, dope. Everything's good, man. Like, man, you're killing it. I remember watching it had to be like 2 years ago. And what you were talking about, how you were like shifting your content to something better. It was powerful because I think I watched your videos as you were transitioning, right? To talk about like different topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to see, like, how old are you?
44.
44. Yeah. So like seeing somebody older who's gone through these experiences, and I can look at that and be like, all right, let me try to pivot, because it is interesting to see how many guys are in the same position, across all ages. Where you're talking about like, oh, I hate women, or I'm mad at women, I'm frustrated like that. And I remember being in that space, and something that really helped me to get out was just watching brothers like you, man, like just talking about positivity, getting to the bag, working on yourself. And it's really hard to do that when you're upset, when you're frustrated and like that.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, and man, I've been watching your I've watched you go through a transition myself. Cause I've been following you for a while, and you came on the Patreon and you gave some wise words. But then there was a point in time where you just, I don't know what you were going through. You kind of just froze for a minute and you changed some things up on your Instagram, and your message just warped. It went somewhere completely different. And man, it just began to inspire people. I love when you post now, man. It's just, you're talking about things outside of yourself. You're talking about people changing the world. I'm like, man, this brother has gone through something, man. So that's a real thing, brother.
I saw some brothers in the comments. They were talking about, like, you know, they're once. One guy said, he was like, you know, I'm able to see the mirror or something past the mirror, or like the ceiling, like I'm seeing past the ceiling. And my moment for seeing past the ceiling was like, because some of you guys know I'm a violinist, and one of my goals is like to be the best violinist ever, you know, and that's such a lofty goal. It's not really like concrete. Like, why do you want that? Like, you know, some people say, oh, I want to make $1 million. Well, why do you want to make $1 million? You know, or I want to get out of my mama's house. Why do you want to get out of your mama's house? You know, and I started thinking about, what's my reason? Like, what is my why for playing the violin? I paused. I stopped. You know, I was like, let me just stop for a second. Let me stop playing the violin, because I've been doing it for so many years, consistently, the same thing, practicing. I said, let me stop. When I took when I stepped back from it, it allowed me to see what was important, right? How I can inspire people, and how I can just inspire myself. Because we just say, like, God talk is real. People don't understand how powerful their own mind is, right? Their mind is so powerful. So what you were saying, like watching World Star, I remember being in that space years ago. Watch World Star, watch a whole bunch of videos, and then you finish watching the video, you don't feel any better, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like fight video.
Exactly, man.
Oh,
let me ask you this, man. But because you know, even though you said you're trying to get to a certain level, you know, I think, you know, it's safe to say, and I'm sure a lot of people on this live know that you've accomplished a level that a lot of people won't get to. Let me ask you this: what did you do from the point when you started playing? Like what got you to the point where you are now? Like what do you think changed? Was it your belief? Was it your upbringing? What do you think the key thing is that made you get to where you are now?
The most important thing that helped me was first realizing that I'm broken. You know, that was the most important thing.
Say that word again. That you were what?
Just broken. Just realizing that you're broken. You know, and at that moment, I was like, you know, because I was a violinist doing all this stuff, playing different shows, and I could hardly pay the bills. You know, these are things that, like, every man should be working towards, you know, just to be able to take care of his home. And I'm thinking, like, wow, I gotta focus on this. So that what you're talking about, taking a step back, I started programming, started coding, started studying the markets, all these type of things I never thought I would ever do. And it really helped me to expand my mind and to realize that I don't have to just be a violinist. I can do other things too. And the violin doesn't have to be a job. It can just be something that I enjoy. Yeah.
That changes it up when you're doing it strictly from a place of love. It does change it. It kind of takes a lot of pressure off of it, and you can kind of do it. You know, a lot of love can come out of your craft, then, man. Yeah, man. I sure appreciate it, brother. I sure appreciate you coming on too. And I have that hat. I'm about to rock it one day. I bought my Stay Inspired hat probably about a year and a half ago, man. I've been meaning to rock it though, man.
But I saw your content, man, and everybody watch it right now. Everybody watch it right now. If you're thinking about starting something, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel or whatever it is, do it. Don't be shy. Please do not be shy. I was looking to see, like, it should be at least like 10 or 20 other people here waiting to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the only person in the room, you know? So
yeah.
I want to encourage everybody to keep going. What Soul's doing right here, you guys can do too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can spread a message of positivity and something that uplifts people, because there's enough negativity out there. I'm not gonna name no names. It's a whole bunch of stuff out there. I mean, that's their place. They're there to do this. But this space right here, I think it's a growing community. I think it's going, you don't even know it yet, so, but you're going to inspire a lot of young brothers and women as well to
I appreciate it, bro.
to start talking about positivity more.
Thanks a lot, brother. Man,
Hey,
I
no
appreciate
problem,
you coming
bro.
on, joining me, brother.
Hey, no problem,
Yeah, man.
bro. I see you grinding. You be grinding. You took a step back too. I saw
I
it.
did. I had
Yep.
to reevaluate and see, you know, and just kind of look at myself because it's easy to think you're moving right, and you know, and you're not. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to just take time, man, and see what I was doing, see the good and the bad, you know, and just move different, man. And and to be honest, that's not, you know, I take a step back, but to be honest, every day I take a step back and see what I did yesterday that I shouldn't have done. So I have to do that more frequently. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, something I realized with trading stocks and crypto, everybody expects, you know, when they buy something, right? And this is where I started at, you know, years ago when I was trading. They expect to buy something and then it just goes straight up. It never happens. The moment you buy
No,
it,
never.
the stock or the price just dips, and then it keeps dipping some more. And the person who's able to hold on the longest wins the most,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And most
Persistence.
people
Persistence
they
and
sell
patience,
and
man.
they give up and they quit. And I think that's how success journeys. Because when people see somebody at a level of success, they think, "Oh, that person got lucky. Oh, he just got there." And luck
Yeah.
does play a little part in it, but
Yeah.
you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that people do not see.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Mhm.
thinks it's just easy. Let me give a shout out to brother real quick. Brother Big Talk, man, I appreciate the $5. Give you at ease. Says for 2 months, I sat in the house. I own recording. I'm sorry. For 2 months, I sat in the house. I own recording a podcast in my mind. And now, I'm sorry, I now do this in reality. I'm 23 and I'm living a life I create. Thank you, soul. But it all starts in the mind. And I hear some of the greats say it all the time. They say everything you see, whether it's a building, whether it's a football field, whether it's a bank, it had to start in somebody's mind. So if everything that you can possibly look at and see started in somebody's mind, the question you got to ask is what's in my mind? Like what is it that I can create? If everybody can do it, like this brother said, for 2 months I sat in the house and I own recording a podcast in my mind. I now do this in reality. I'm 23 and I'm living a life I create. Thank you, soul brother. Man, I appreciate that, brother. Give you another at ease, man, for that. At 23, he's moving. And see, that's the thing, man. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I always talk to my nephew, Jalen, man. If y'all don't follow Jalen, he's on Instagram in the fitness. But I tell Jalen this all the time. I said, man, the whole thing I'm trying to do is to shrink the gap. Because like I say, I'm 44 years old and I'm talking about a certain thing. My objective is for Brother Big Talk to know it at 23. Because if he knows it at 23, now the whole world is changing. You know what I'm saying? We have to get in a space as people, as humanity, as to get in a space where, you know what, now we have to start thinking about those behind us. Like it's no longer about us. It's about those behind us. So now the Brother Big Talk is moving like this at 23. Now he's talking to the brothers that are 16 and 18. Now they're moving like this. It's all about shrinking that gap. It's all about shrinking that gap, man. Brother E, I sure appreciate you coming on, brother. And I'm gonna be checking your stuff out, man. I love listening to your music. I love listening. And who that brother you go in with a lot? And sometimes y'all be performing. It's another brother you go. Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. But again, yeah, I can't hear you for some reason, brother. But I appreciate you coming on though, bro. And I'm definitely gonna be checking your page out. I'm gonna bring brother McLeod in.
All right, bro.
All right, take care, brother. Thanks again, man. Give me your at ease on that.
Peace.
Brother McLeod.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing?
What's good, man?
I'm just chilling in my new home, man. Just moved down to Tampa about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, man, you in God's country. Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, all that down there. Man, I love that area, man.
Oh,
Got you a new crib, huh?
Yeah. Check this out.
Nice, man. You know what, man? I have a brother down there in the Tampa area. Oh, man, you on the water?
Yeah, this is
That's
right by my
love,
new
brother.
work.
It's a blessing, man.
Oh, I mean,
It's a blessing,
so
brother.
I do woodworking, right? And I used to live up in Kentucky, and I was sitting in this old shop that I used to work in. I said, man, I sure would love to work in a shop that has a big garage door. And I thought about it because I wanted to have it open and being out in the wind and all that while I'm working and having the sun on me. And now this is my view from work.
Nice. So what you're saying is you first saw it in your mind.
And then what I got was better than I could have ever imagined.
Man, that's a beautiful thing, brother. That's a beautiful thing, brother. Be at ease on that one, man. See, the thing is this, man. But and that let me see that view again, brother. Show them that view again.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people will see people moving a certain way. You say, you know what, man? Well, how this brother get this kind of car? How this brother get this kind of spot? How brother Logan get this kind of view? You know what I'm saying? On the water. And the first thing people will say was the first thing they'll do is figure out every single reason why they can't have it. Why they can't have it. This brother was living in Kentucky. Now he's waterfront. Now I don't know if any of y'all lived in Kentucky. I lived in Kentucky for about 6 months. And I'm gonna tell you,
live at?
it looked. I was in basic. I was in Fort Knox. But I spent some time in Louisville in the horse races. And Kentucky is nice, but Kentucky is not Tampa. Kentucky is not waterfront. You know what I'm saying? So to live in Kentucky and to in your mind see that vision, brother, I'm telling you, it's just a matter of seeing it. And the thing is to get to that level, a lot of people just have to experience it. Now, I don't know if you just took a trip down there to Tampa, if you were just looking at pictures, but it's something you had at some point, you just up and just left.
I've never really even been here. But get this.
Hey, what made you love the waterfront then, brother?
Well, I just need to get out of Kentucky is the main part. I mean, there's not much going on there. So come down here. I know I wanted to move to Florida, and I don't know Spanish, so I didn't go to Miami. So I ended up in Tampa.
Dang.
But
appreciate it, brother, man.
I said there's a certain dollar amount I need to make to sustain myself, and I decided I was moving, and I found a job the exact dollar amount that I needed, and they needed exactly what I was good at, and words, I don't know.
Nice, brother. Well, I sure appreciate you coming on, showing the love, man, and showing the beautiful home, man. I appreciate it, man, and congratulations on that, man.
Yeah, I mean, you made me move like this, man. So thank you,
man. Appreciate it, man. Stay in touch, bro. You know, I'm gonna be doing these lives on a regular basis, man. Feel free to chime in whenever you want. Give some wise words, even if just for a second, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do for us, man.
No, thank you, man, and I'll sure be around.
All right, man. Well, take care, brother.
All right, see you, man.
All right, man. I saw this comment, brother. Sister, the beauty job made it. The beauty job. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Made another comment. She says, she was commenting to Solo. So I messed these names up. The Joy. She says, I would say yes. The Bible says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing, not he who finds a woman who might be a good wife." This last part is what caught me. This last part is what grabbed me. She says, so if you want to find a husband, first be a wife. Man, I wish more women understood that. And even some brothers that are looking for women. I wish more people understood. That's important. It's, when it comes to relationships. People think, and I'm going to this, I'm not going to go hard because I'm talking about this a lot on my next live, and I might do it tomorrow. It's going to talk about this kind of thing heavy. But people want to find, I'm not going to go into that. Just know that if you want to find a husband and have a wife, you have to move a certain way. You see what a lot of people do. They'll go out and try to find a baddie. Sister try to go out and find a 6'12" brother with a 20-pack abs in a fleet of McLarens, and then people try to get these people, and then they try to convert them to be husband or wife type. We're doing it backwards. We're doing it backwards, and I'm gonna dive into that. Appreciate that, sister. But the Chose Logic says we must ascend and be to being immortal. Amen. We can accomplish anything we put our energy to. Anything.
anything. I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up. It says LUCA. Much love, soul. Only time will tell how much your words change the world. Thanks a lot, brother. God is good all the time. Amen. Amen. So wrapping it up, I'm just gonna say this. We have to make sure that we're aware of how this thing works. We have to be aware that when we're going in a direction, when we say, hey, you know what? I've been moving in a certain direction. Now it's time for me to change my life and do something there and to do something else. And not saying that everybody is going from a lower to a high vibration. Sometimes you just want to change it up and do something different. Sometimes you just want to be in a different relationship. Sometimes you just want to be in a different job. Sometimes you just want to be in a different religion. Just know that time frame of going from east to west or up and down, that there's a brief period in there. There's a brief period of just stagnation. And what you don't want to do, you don't want to get caught up right there. Because right there is where everybody's throwing their ideas in. Right there is where everybody's going a million directions. You have to have your mindset. You have to be feeding your own subconscious. Because if not, like Napoleon Hill says, the negative will find you. And that's all I wanted to relay today. I appreciate y'all for joining. I originally said we're going to be doing this every Tuesday, but we're definitely going to be doing it far more than that. I thank y'all for the super chats. I thank y'all for the views. I thank you for giving me likes. It's your boy Soul Immortal, and I'm out.